Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I'd say it's highly likely that the latest XRP on-demand liquidity rumor that I'm seeing today, all up in my Twitter feed, is perhaps true. And this stems from a conversation between, what was the guy's name? Nicholas, there you go, Nicholas Steiger with FlashFX, a conversation between him and my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. So, yeah, I'm just going to run through this, but I can tell you right up the front, here's the headline. Ripple partner FlashFX may extend on-demand liquidity platform to Japan. And before we even get into the details, I'm happy to state that I believe ultimately, to what degree there's something to this story, and there's definitely something to the story. Regardless of that, ultimately, I think this would happen anyway. Okay, corridors are being built out all over the world by Ripple, so I'll share with you my thoughts on that and some of the specifics here, of course. I also have two tweets from Peter Schiff. Gold bug Peter Schiff. Oh, I really like the guy, actually. He's just anti-crypto, but he's not nasty about it. He's like... He's not a believer, you know. He doesn't think that there's anything to it, and I will tell you right at the outset, even before I cover those tweets from him, that I don't blame him for not believing that there's anything to crypto, because look, although many of his complaints against crypto and well, just really any crypto, not just Bitcoin, but any cryptocurrencies, some of his complaints are concerns are legit. A lot of them are not. A lot of them definitely are not. His biggest beef with it is that he's like, well, what's it getting used for? He always says, things along those lines. He's like, so what percent of the volume is for any sort of buying or selling of goods? Because using Bitcoin in place of an actual currency, that's a use case. It's just not getting any traction in the world in 2019. But I've seen him state more than once, and I wish I could talk to him, because I want to explain to him that there's real utility to be had. You can run business models that could not otherwise exist without XRP, for example, and it's actually being adopted. That's why, of course, it deserves to have a real-world value and staying power, but he legitimately doesn't know it. So again, like I said, it's not like he's trying to be some sort of troll out there. He literally doesn't have that piece of crucial information. And because for me, once I figured that out, that's when I was all in on XRP. And I figured it out, close to 2 years. I've been in the world of crypto over 2 years, but I started to figure, it took a long time for me to learn, but eventually it sunk into my thick skull, and it just hit me at some point. And I was like, oh my God, there's really something to this. You can actually use this, and this can't happen without this. So bam, of course. Long-term staying power. So anyway, I look forward to sharing the tweets. So it goes, one was from 2017 and one was from today. You'll see. All right, and then I'm going to wrap up the video with this article from CoinDesk. Bitcoin no longer looks like digital gold by one measure. But before we get going any further here, if you would please ever so delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, you know what you should do? You know what the right thing to do would be? It would be to subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. You don't want to do the wrong thing, right? Yeah, go ahead and subscribe. Or don't. Even if you don't, you're all right. Thanks for stopping by regardless. So I got this story from XRP Crypto Wolf, sending me all the hottest jams every day. Ripple partner again. FlashFX may extend on-demand liquidity platform to Japan. Ripple has been working actively to promote and spread its on-demand liquidity platform across the globe. The ODL platform that had already onboarded Mexico and Philippines added its newest member, Australia, after a partnership with FlashFX. However, the corridor might be in its testing phase, as no data for the transaction has been actively recorded. However, FlashFX might be extending this corridor further to Japan. And of course, along with this, there's all sorts of other things that have to be built out, not the least of which would be a liquidity provider, a market maker. So until there's a designated exchange on both ends of any given corridor, not going to happen imminently necessarily, unless you want to tell me what your definition of imminently is, and then maybe I would either agree or disagree based on that. But anyway, Crypto Eddie, that's my fellow XRP YouTuber, a proponent of XRP, in her latest video spoke to FlashFX's Nicholas Steiger, who purportedly told Eddie via chat about the opening of a gateway for Japan in Q1 of 2020. Now, of course, I have no reason to believe that this part is not true. The rumor part of it, really, the speculative part of it, really more so comes with the usage of XRP in the quarter, which, again, to me, and you'll see why, I'm going to read this, but, the exchange back and forth here, but to me, it's a no-brainer. It's inevitable. But take a look at this here. So here's the little message back and forth. And so CryptoEddie writes, do you use Ripple on-demand liquidity for just Philippines or any other country? The on-demand liquidity by XRP. And then Nicholas responded, hi, we also use on-demand liquidity for USD to Bitstamp. Japan is coming in Q1, I understand. So there you go. And then she wrote, so happy to know this, I am in Tokyo. So to me, I started seeing this floating around Japan, this and that, and not an official announcement from FlashFX, not an official announcement from Ripple, but here you go. I think it's fair to state that this is likely to be completely accurate, and I would assume that the way this is written, it wasn't completely explicit, but I think the way it's written, it's fair to read in that XRP will be used, as on-demand liquidity. Anyway, so they write, in all likeliness, FlashFX might extend to Japan with the help of SBI, also a Ripple partner. Ripple had noted during the Swell conference that most of its partnerships were still under wraps, stating that the world might see new corridors over the next year. This could be one of the corridors we may see become active in 2020. So, and look, this is obviously substantial, because any time a new corridor is built out, those liquidity providers, those market makers, they have to hold XRP in order for this to function. And of course, they make money on the buying and selling of XRP, so they're happy to do it. That's what their business model is, right? They know outside of that, as long as they're making money buying and selling, the price of XRP doesn't. It's not like it's not as important to as it would be to, let's say, speculators such as you and I, members of the XRP community. So. As all these corridors are built out and as volume increases, more and more XRP will indeed have to be held by multiple entities. And of course it's going to happen because there's real usage here. Like, to me, it's just like the biggest duh on the planet. That's why I have a YouTube channel where this is all I talk about. Spread the word, All right, so here's a tweet from Peter Schiff, and Frecky retweeted this Peter Schiff tweet and tagged me and wrote, oh, silly Peter. Well, thank you very much, Frecky, for tagging me. I do appreciate all the support, and I love it when you tag me and stuff. You got some good stuff to share. And here's the tweet that Frecky shared with me from Peter Schiff, which states, it looks like... by the way, so this is September 13th, 2017, so over 2 years ago. Peter Schiff wrote this. It looks like the Bitcoin dam at the $4,000 support level has broken. It's now a bloodbath, as the floodgates are wide open. Now, of course, we know what happened after that. We have the benefit of hindsight, don't we? We know that Bitcoin in December went up to damn near $20,000. So it looks like Peter was a little bit off. He's got his doom and gloom thing going on there. I guess it's working for him, and he's selling his yellow rocks. But yeah, a little bit off there. And I say that with love, because I actually am a fan of Peter Schiff. I just think that he's wrong about this. I don't think he's actually being me. I believe that he actually believes the stuff that he's writing here, right? So here's what he wrote today, 5 hours ago. Peter Schiff. Okay, Bitcoin pump and dumpers are losing their mojo. They managed to pump the price by $550 in 1 minute, a 7.5% spike. Yet the dump reversed the entire pump with an 8% drop in just 7.5 hours. If Bitcoin pumpers can no longer sucker in new buyers, the game is over. Look out below. Sucker in new buyers, my gosh. Well, a lot of other people on the planet understand that there is something to this crypto thing. I'm sorry you just can't see it yet, but I don't completely blame you. Like I stated at the outset of the video, somebody needs to sit down with you and explain the utility of XRP, and then perhaps it would be obvious. And so here is XRP community member Air Force Dave on Twitter responding to Peter Schiff, and he wrote this, and I wanted to share it with you. He wrote, true, but what about cryptocurrencies that have actual use case and are gaining traction? Hashtag XRP, sir. Do the work. And that's why I had to hit like on that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and retweet this while I'm recording the video. I think that's a good tweet. So there you go. Share it with your mama and your family members, all your family members. All right, last piece in this video. Bitcoin no longer looks like digital gold by one measure. If digital gold means a safe haven asset where investors park their money during financial market turmoil, then Bitcoin doesn't fit the bill as well as it used to. For most of the year, Bitcoin's price showed a modestly negative correlation with the S&P 500. In other words, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization tended to rise on days when the bellwether stock market index fell, and vice versa. But since early October, that relationship has weakened, according to information provided by Digital Assets Data. The correlation, once well into the negative 20 to 30 range, is now beginning to flatten towards a reading of around negative 10%, as shown in the chart below. The closer to zero, or a positive correlation with the stock market that Bitcoin gets, the harder it is to paint the digital asset as a port in the storm. And here's a quote now: "The negative correlation has supported the store of value / digital gold thesis for Bitcoin, as investors may have been moving into the asset as a hedge against global economic turmoil," said Kevin Kaltenbacher, a data scientist of Digital Assets Data. And then he also stated, "These recent developments potentially present some challenges to the narrative." And I've been tracking this too. It just seriously, it looks to me as though it depends on what time period you're looking at as to whether or not it seems to reasonably correlate or not. And I don't know. You got somebody like Tom Lee, who I've cited on the channel before. He's always on news like CNBC, Fast Money, all that stuff. And the last thing, I hope I'm not misspeaking here, I think the last thing I saw from him was that it was just the concept that Bitcoin was actually moving with the stock market more so. And so I don't know. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't thoroughly dug into the data myself because it's, not XRP related enough, but I do find the concepts interesting, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. But people are still figuring this all out, and as far as the way that cryptocurrencies are being treated today in 2019, who knows if it's going to look anything like this in the future? If you fast forward 5 or 10 years, who knows? Because a lot of infrastructure will be built up by then. There will be a lot more certainty around specific cryptocurrencies, so things will certainly change. It'll be neat to continue to track this. But anyway, that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!